Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Commentary as Magic Stream on today's Sunday, December 19th, 2021. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big Cheese.
Arcat and
Frozen to death, Ivory Starlight.
It's cold
And
out here,
today,
too.
we're going to go over all the cards again.
Did someone say Slogfest round 2?
Yeah.
Alright, y'all have fun with that. Good night.
Here we go!
and closes the stream. No, we're not actually doing Slugfest round 2.
Prismlight asks, how fast can we talk? Not that fast.
The trick here is this is pre-recorded, and we're just gonna speed the audio up by 500%.
It's just exactly the same thing.
Sounds good. No, today, after spending way too much time last week or the week before talking about cards, we're going to spend some more time talking about cards.
But actually go into a little more detail, because we know we don't have 100 and something.
Or less detail, depending
We
on
just
the
have
reasoning.
20.
That's true. Just 20. Well, 21, because one of us cheats.
I don't cheat.
You cheat.
I am technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
You're not even technically correct. You're just wrong.
We'll see about that. Alright, so what are we doing here exactly? We're talking about our favorite cards, not necessarily just all the cards. So
Correct.
Stuff that we like for whatever reason. Possibly
Correct.
horrible reasons.
Correct. Yeah, these are not just our picks for most powerful cards or cards that we're going to play the most with. Any number of reasons could be there to justify why a card appears on one of our lists.
Like Cheese taking mine.
She's took a lot of mine as well.
What did I take of yours?
Your first three!
Literally your first one was
Oh,
the
yeah.
one card
Okay,
I'm
sure.
like hands down is my favorite card in the set, but of course I can't do it because you put it first.
Yeah, Cheese took a lot of our favorite cards.
It's a fun card.
It is a good card.
See,
Oh, well.
I just heard two very different things here. It is a good card. It is a fun card. Are these the same thing? Nobody
Yes.
knows.
No, in this case, well, I think they are.
I would agree in this case. Bugle asks, why can't we have the same cards? I mean, we can, but we wanted to try to showcase cards. Look, the truth is, sitting here and trying to pick 5 of these per person is, like, impossible.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is,
No, it's
Mr.
not.
6.
Look, that has comedy option written right in front of it. Anyway, should we get on with this?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Alright, no, don't press that button. Press this button. There we go.
Did you press the right button? Okay. My number one pick, or at least the first pick that we have here, because I don't know if I actually put mine in order, is Tempest Shadow Troubles in Town. A power-efficient orange friend that artificially kind of increases your hand size and lets you also mill stuff from your deck and get discounts, and it just does everything. It does everything that any kind of orange non-control deck would want to do. It's cheap. You can play it relatively early thanks to being able to get orange entry very, very easily, either through running the Growcord main or through running Lyra Handy in conjunction with resources. And if you have not had the chance to play with this card in really any mid-range deck yet, I highly recommend it. This thing is absurd.
Lee dumb.
I mean,
You forgot that last part.
It is a very, very good card, but the individual effect of this card by itself is not something that's going to break the game. It's just a value engine, and I think that's one of the things that I like the most about Fond Memories is the number of different value engines that exist out there. Not all of them are going to be competitively viable, and not all of them are going to be in decks that are at the same power level, but there's just a lot of support for decks that kind of fit the middle of the spectrum as far as like aggro versus control, and fall sweetly into the tempo or mid-range spot, and this is one of them. even in Adventure, this thing is great. That's not even talking about this card in the dark format Harmony, where, hey, now I can just play all the breezies from the top of my deck and not have to have card draw engines. We're not going to talk about that.
You named 2 cursed formats.
Yep, sure did. Wait, Adventure?
Adventure's cursed format.
Nah, Adventure's good, man. Adventure's good. Heatwave is expensive now. And also renamed. Anyway, that's my love letter to Tempest Shadow. Also, the art is just absolutely fantastic. Aura knocked it out of the park with this one. So, well done.
She's grinning at people.
I'm grinning at her. Okay, Chief. Take the one you stole from everyone.
Gals and Silverstream. They do things. I mean, okay, so you've got like 3 keywords, and then, oh wait, you can play it for free. Including after your opponent frightens their own Bunyip to score a point.
This
Or
annoys me.
plays their own belly flop.
Yep. No, that's retire.
Yeah.
They're dismiss. Oh, opposing.
Retire a friend to dismiss an opposing friend.
Oh, right. Well, either way.
Now there's some Premier cards that'll do it.
You could play it off of Exploding Vinyl.
Yeah.
Because that card still sees play.
Maybe. Anyway, so the biggest part of this card is that it's free, or can be free. I think without the freeness, it would be interesting, but not the, like, just, it goes in pink blue aggro.
And
Everywhere.
combo and control.
The eccentric one is actually pretty relevant. Being able to surprise, stop a confront. Like if someone sequences their Bunyip wrong and does the Bunyip first, you can stop a confront. Or if you just have some disruption or something, you can do that too. Like if you needed like to frighten something and then increase by 1.
I see the competitive one being forgotten pretty regularly on this card.
I will
'Cause
tell you why that competitive one matters, though.
Oh, it
When-
matters. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm just saying that out of everything happening on this card, that feels the least
The weakest,
impactful.
or like the least relevant, yeah.
It is. There is definitely a blue-pink deck that likes beating up troublemakers. At the very least, it's its win condition. And the other thing to note here is, okay, yeah, this is competitive, which only happens inside of a face-off, but this is also free 3 unity in either blue or pink, unless you're in a face-off, and then it's free 4 unity in blue or pink. And given that decks that are playing Still Partying are still going to have to rely on scoring points some other way if they're not going to one-turn kill with all 3 Still Partyings, then that extra 1 can actually matter. Diamond Song wonders if Sim are Gallus and Silverstream shippers. I ship Gallus with everyone.
Yeah.
Ara doesn't want me to comment on this one.
I mean, they are paired up a lot in the show. Like, so there's lots of art of them together.
Nah, I don't really like Gallus.
Oh.
Zara seems cute, though.
You don't like Gallus, so you made him a cheerleading outfit?
Exactly.
Okay, admittedly, he does look kind of cute in that, but that's mostly because of the outfit, not because of the Gallus.
Disagree. Bird Boy is good. Diamond Song, we are going 1 to 5 on each list. I don't know if we necessarily put these in ranking order.
I don't think there was actually an order here.
Yeah, there's no.
Yeah.
It's what I thought of first.
Yeah.
Because I had just played a game with it, I think.
I think he was the first one to add a card on this list, and both me and Ivory were just like,
No, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
he went in and put this card and then closed
No,
the document.
Ara was completely done. Then I went in and added Gallus, and then I think my next 2.
Next card.
Next card. So this one's mine. And this is just kind of
Annoying.
Well, it's that. It's just kind of good. It's just kind of annoying. Out of absolutely nowhere, I found some flavor that makes perfect sense with the mechanical aspects of this. And it's just like, yes.
It really is kind of a perfect fit.
And then it's just kind of amusing, especially when you put it in something like Couch Potato.
Yeah, it's real effective with the confront from home characters. Like, that one power adds up.
Yeah.
I mean, you figure you have one Canterlot Citizens and one Yak and your main, so that's an additional +3 power. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's also not unique, which is funny. And then if you are feeling spicy, you can even use it offensively. It's great. Also, it's got a little bit of Celestia on it.
Like, it also blocks, like, in that deck, it also blocks the power, the things that care about power, so stop fighting. Like, oh wait, I can't hit anything.
Oh, it does.
Everything's too
Yeah.
big.
Nap cakes.
Yellow isn't supposed to have big friends. That's illegal.
Hey, wait. Yeah, exactly.
Except Yellow has the biggest friend of all, Celeste. She's the biggest one. That's why she's in charge.
That's a good card. Good
Next
pick.
card.
It's going to be fun and limited, too.
Ooh.
Hey, look, those are Twilights. So, there's a couple reasons why I love this card. I can't help but see Solid Snake versus Liquid Snake, for one.
Exactly.
Those of you familiar with Metal Gear Solid. The other reason is I just find this ability really amusing. Because there's so many cards now that will search decks. Like, I'm just gonna get rid of these. Now my deck is smaller, and there's nothing you can do about it. Unless you play a blindfold, then you're sad. But we don't play blindfold. Blindfold is bad. Don't play blindfold.
Mm,
I'm gonna play
Yeah.
blindfold.
Don't do that. It's not nice.
I'm gonna play blindfold.
Hey, if you're allowed to tell people to play Searching High and Low against Skystar, I'm allowed to tell people not to play blindfold.
Alright, I'll allow it. That's fair enough.
This is a fun one, and I believe there's another card on your list later on that synergizes very well with this.
It does, actually. At least I think I included it. Yes, I did.
This
Diamond
is also,
says... Go ahead.
This is also up there because it's got double Twilight.
Yes. Before she had Winks.
Okay, so it's got about 1.5 Twilights. Fine.
Diamond says she'd like this card more if you could ignore the play requirements when you banish it. It's only 2 play requirement. And it's in the 2 colors that are most likely to search. Prism Light says fire exists, big deal. Bugle says the play requirements would be meaningless then. And I would say just play Bloodstone Scepter. Next one.
The real meme is just use Student 6.
Large oof. Alright.
The real meme is just reanimate. To the moon! There's a lot to say about this card, which is weird because I actually haven't been able to build a deck that has used this card yet.
This is great. It even looks like a banana.
It's kind of look like
That
a banana.
is the most elongated banana in existence.
It's fine. It's a banana. I can see it. 1,000 years moon, bye-bye banish time. Correct. I really like this card mostly because it is so cheap and so broadly useful against any opposing friend, and yet the colors that you have to build a deck in order to play this in are actually somewhat challenging, which is part of why I haven't built a deck with this yet. But also because, once again, like Diurnal Amulet, the flavor here is just so fitting. It's
Bye, moon, vanish, go, time.
something like that, yes. So now 1,000 years bye banish time, or what? I can't even remember it. It's been too long since we did that. Anyway, I am sure that there is a deck that can make use of To the Moon, and when it does, I will look forward to playing it and then realizing that it's probably too slow because there's too many decks running Tempest Shadow out there. And that's okay. Also, it references ancient memes, and ancient meme cards are always good.
Can't actually put the full title of this on this card.
Yeah, because you won't shrink the text any further.
Well, one, you wouldn't be able to read it, but two, it involves a lot of swearing, so no.
Just bleep it out.
Buy some apples.
There you go. Next card.
It's all mine. I think, yeah.
Oh, look, Bugle was right. What a surprise.
Hey! Happy little trees. Anyway, Discord's great. I like stopping things. I like having my opponent not do the thing that they were hoping to do. Like, win a face-off. Or resolve the face-off. Or confront the problem.
Or have
Any
fun.
of things, yes, or have fun. Any of these things are bad and shouldn't happen. I'm going to play cards to make sure they don't.
Control player likes control cards. News at 11.
Is that 11 a.m. or p.m.? Both of them are weird times.
Even better, UTC.
I like Beagle's answer of yes.
Yeah, I mean, and this card gets even better if, like, in a burb style or a tender taps, basically, deck. He's really not that expensive for what he does. The wreck is reasonable. It's not super easy to hit. Like, you're not going to be able to, like, just scepter it. But not too hard, especially in, like, the kind of thing that this deck does. Like, you're going to have a what's her name? Duck.
Rainbow Shine.
Rainbow Shine or something like that.
Now, Beagle, you're just glad he's not a sea pony. Shooby-doo.
What would happen if it was a unicorn? Let's see.
Shooby-doo.
I don't actually remember. Oh, yeah, sure. I'm still not big on Celestia, but
Not yet. You
Not
will
yet.
be.
I haven't seen her. So, Celestia is useless, like,
Okay.
just as a pony.
Understandable.
So thus her cards are also useless.
Diamond Song asks, do people still run Vexing-centric decks? You don't need to run a Vexing-centric deck if you have a good card that has Vexing on it.
Yeah. Vexing was never really a big thing because all of the cards that had Vexing were too expensive for what they did. And not really repeatable.
Not really. There was the cycle out of, what was that, High Magic? I think that was High Magic.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of those that were just good.
Yeah, and this card is just it both is impactful when it enters play and when it leaves play, and being 2 power and 2 cost, it's easier to get back into play for cheap or free.
Can't wait to play this with Interdimensional Portal and Adventure.
Yeah, it's fun.
I repeat previous comment about Adventure.
Look, it's not orange anymore.
It's not color specific.
Yeah. I think I'm in
But
Ivory's camp here.
I'm glad to see Vexing come back, and I think this is a very interesting way to do it. And I don't think this card is overpowered. Like you could print cards that would make it overpowered. Like it was like ridiculously cheap and easy to get it just like every turn or like multiple times a turn. Yeah, we saw it, but I don't actually remember that card. I just remember it not being very good.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Next card. I don't think I need to say a whole lot about this. Look how cute she is. Look at the flavor on this. I don't even care what this does mechanically. It's just cute.
Most expensive card.
Correct.
Yes, it is the most expensive card.
This card is worth minimum $8. The only card that has a predefined secondary market MSRP.
Basically. Like this is purely flavor. I don't generally like the kind of decks that would deal with song cards. So mechanically this is just whatever.
You don't like Moonlight Sonata?
That deck saw play like once.
It sure did. And then we built it again. We ripped Spike out and we put this in, and it's much better. Twilight Sonata now. There you go. Yeah, it doesn't even run Luna, so Luna too
It
slow.
actually has immediates now.
It does. One of which is To the Moon. I did build a deck with To the Moon. I completely forgot about that.
How could you do this?
It's fine. Look, it's also totally playable in core. Like a purple-yellow Alicorns deck would definitely run this. It's an Alicorn, and it gets you 2 modes out of You'll Play Your Part and out of a Curing Tale. Or Luna's Future. Or Friends Are Always There. Like, that's all great.
And you can do amusing things like, say, Flash Sentry puts his Twilight figurine into play that he got at a convention last weekend.
What?
I'm glad that one person got that.
I picked it up. Aura, I have questions about what these blue lines are in the art, but I'm not going to go into more detail about that, so that's okay.
It's just the wallpaper background.
It's a cage.
I recolored it from green because it blended into the card art.
Okay. Bugle
Oh,
asks
yeah.
Bugle asks if those figures were next to the Daring Do body pillows. Yeah, basically.
Same vendor.
And Godot says he was just about to make that reference. That's a good card.
Hey, look, more Twilight.
Yeah, but this isn't actually Twilight. Twilight's a farce here. This is Pot of Greed.
What does Pot of Greed do?
Pot of Greed lets you draw 2 cards from the top of your deck and put them into your hand. That's not actually what this does, but in a roundabout way, that's exactly what this does. And the fact that I can now just explain this card in vivid detail every time I play it, like it's Pot of Greed, that is why it's here. It's also an actually really good card that a lot of purple players are already using. I've seen your deck list, Sheepy.
I've seen what you're capable of.
We're not talking about that deck list. You already said you didn't want to talk about Adventure, so we're not going to talk about Adventure.
It's not just an Adventure. This is used in Core 2.
It is, but it's much more fun in Adventure.
I still think I said this card wasn't very good.
I still think you're wrong.
It's got a cute picture of Twilight on it. That's the important part.
She's a
It does.
duck.
I was going to say, this reminds me of that art by, I think it's Evely, of all the alicorns in the pond.
Yep.
Quack.
Quack.
Yeah.
Quack.
Quack.
Twilight's a duck now.
And then Celestia pops up out of nowhere and is like, Hawk!
Yes.
Bugle says playing 2 Tranquilities turn 1 to play a Glimmer AT Gen is great. Yeah, just have Magical Christmas time. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna start with trade traditions, and then I'm gonna play a whatever it's called.
'Tis the season, right?
Get
all your Christmas magic out of the way now.
See, he said he did it yesterday. It's exactly what Ivory said. 'Tis the season.
Right.
Was her name? I don't know.
Factory Jack.
No.
Perfectly flavor appropriate too, because Twilight's just having a good time, and then Glimmer shows up and starts messing everything up.
You don't even lose any cards out of your hand. That's kind of gross. I hope you have a recording of that, Bugle. I want to see that. That's dumb.
Actual pics or it didn't happen response.
Yeah, basically.
Nice. Next card.
Sure.
That's a funny segue.
So, every now and then there is a card that comes out in a set that I will have floating around in the back of my head for the next year.
This is that card.
This is one of those
the
cards.
Johnny card.
This is one of them. The other one is Infiltration Orders. But these two cards are my heartfelt apologies of this set, where whenever I sit down anytime around 2 a.m. and start building decks, I'm inevitably going to sit there and try and think of every possible interaction with Mirror Pool. And they're probably not going to work and be competitive, but man, there's some super fun things you can do with them. I would like to use this with old money.
Go ahead.
There is a
Just
place
make
where
sure
you can
you
do
mark-
that.
Just make sure you mark yourself as having lost that round.
No, it's fine. It's in a nightmare tournament. Don't worry about it.
You're not going to get a chance to play this in Nightmare.
It's true, you won't. The game will be over first. Diamond Song is absolutely correct. That accurately describes how I have built a number of combo decks over the years.
Yeah, but the last one was built at the wrong time.
Yeah,
Well, it
when
still works.
he's laying there awake and his eyeballs are like slowly getting farther and farther apart as his face expands.
That seems like a pretty accurate description of what's going on, yes.
It's about right. It's that scene in Party of One where Pinky's eyes start going.
So the real question is, how moist is your brain?
Not moist enough.
No, you need dry brain for Mirror Pool. Or you need moist brain for Mirror Pool because, hey, you can copy moist brain with it. Anyway. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay, next card.
I know why Cheese put this on here.
Because look at them.
Because that's a good card.
It's got a
Actually,
picture
I
of...
think
It has nothing to do with the ability as to why he put this on here.
it has everything. The Sirens are actually kind of ugly.
It's got Taco Tuesday, though. Oh, now I want tacos.
I like this card because, I mean, like, it's everything I said during the Slogfest. It's being able to DFO and keep a Troublemaker wall up is pretty impactful. Or there's a bunch of other things you can do too, like even in Control. Like you can eat it with Grogar and still have it there. You can and get an extra tick off of it. You can even start doing like double confronts as Control. Because, like you just build up this giant army as Control sometimes, and it's like, well, I need more points, but if I double confront, then everything's free. But what if it wasn't?
Play Twine Rarity Exposed, and play It's Gonna Work, and just bring this back and get 2 copies of it.
Oh, yeah.
But we all know the real reason this is on here is because it's a reminder to GP that the show canonized Rainbow Rocks.
I don't want to hear it!
It did it twice.
No. The music in that was fine.
Yeah, Bugle Counts' favorite is Grogar. I think we were talking about this earlier in Mumble or something. where you can get a lot of value out of it with Groger.
What is interesting here is that Sirens is the first troublemaker that we've seen in quite some time that is being played solely for the fact that it blocks a problem from being confronted and does nothing else disruptive. But it's a stickier wall than anything else we've had access to.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't tax your opponent's events, and it doesn't, reduce their power in face-offs, and it doesn't cause them to randomly discard cards.
It's only
and it doesn't give you
5
card advantage, and yeah,
power.
exactly.
It's just being sticky has value.
Yep.
It's even got a bonus there. Like it used to be that people weren't playing troublemakers unless they had a bonus of 0. And that's when, I think that was either AD or EO or something, where we started seeing a bunch of 0 bonus troublemakers because no one was running them. But this card does nothing, has a bonus of 1, and is still a pretty good card.
Yep, agreed.
Well, it would just be busted if it only gave you 0 points for defeating it.
This card would not be printed with 0 points.
Yeah.
This needs a downside. We're not pulling another Mimics here. Also, Taco Tuesday, yes.
Yes.
Next card.
Mm-hmm.
Could you not?
But I like to.
Is this what Jared Leto is like on sets?
This pony is woke.
Yeah. This is one of a fairly small number of cards that I like for its mechanical impact, because this just messes everything up.
Bugle says, but my snack stands.
Too bad.
Out of snacks, sorry.
But my pirate ships.
There's been a shortage. Also, there's been a rise in enforcement on the high seas.
But my sticks.
Forest fire, sorry.
My Saddle Row storefront that you're actively working in right now.
Burn down.
I'm going to run you out of business. It's fine, don't worry about it.
My golden horseshoe.
We caught you.
Brass-plated.
We caught you changing numbers, so all your businesses are closed and can't operate anymore.
Yeah, it's great. You're just nah. The only thing I don't like about this is that you can't use it effectively in a mono yellow deck, which is maybe part of the design goal here. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does yellow not have enough options for resource removal for you? Cry me a river.
Yeah, just like pink doesn't have enough dismissal.
Right?
Right? It's fine, don't worry about it.
My deck already does 110% of these things, but what if it could do 120? Bugle says, please print yellow rip. We did. It was too good. It's going away.
It's already gone.
Sure is.
I think if it only got rid of resources and not resources and troublemakers, it probably would have stuck around.
Well,
Maybe.
it fixed the meta when it needed to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Meadowbrook was a thing, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Soup Incident is a card that no one remembers.
I remember that card.
Remember that card.
Because they changed the...
You
wording on
remember it for different reasons.
I do remember it for different reasons, because I'm still mad at Victor. I'm mad at Victor about a lot of things. Oh well.
Water's wet.
Yeah, exactly. I actually really like this pick as well. It is surprising the number of decks that I have tried messing around with in this set where I'm like, man, I just need 2 more problems to round out this deck. Guess we'll add 2 copies of Method Overacting. It fits that slot so nicely. It's really nice.
Nice.
Also Fluttershy is best pony.
Exit out. Next card.
Gigi.
It's not
Yes,
name.
it's geeky.
It's not geeky.
So this one's on here for a few reasons. Namely because there's a lot going on this card, and all of them have their own uses. It's cost efficient. Cost to power efficient, I should say. Its chaos is nice. It has hasty. And if it's in the discard pile, you can get points off of it. Versatile blue cards are nice, and I think there should be more of them. And also, Gigi is gambling, and maybe I'm encouraging gambling.
They're not gambling, they're playing D&D, which is worse.
D&D is a form of gambling. You're gambling your sanity.
We have to. I think we're going to have a war and probably another peace treaty over how you pronounce this poor griffin's name.
I mean, I know it's Gigi.
Keys. You've
Kiki?
broken.
No, it's
You've
Kiki
broken
now.
me. You've broken my brain.
Give her another few days and she'll be
How are
starring in
you
a
supposed
Studio
to
Ghibli
pronounce
movie.
this?
Gigi.
Yeah, no, this is definitely supposed to be Gigi.
Not Kiki.
Well, ever since you did it in Slogfest, it's kind of become this meme, so it might be Gigi. Which will be especially amusing when it gets added to the wiki with the other griffins
even
that
better,
Ara has named, and he has
Gigi.
to canonize Gigi. Mimi.
Me.
Red feather, yellow feather.
I hate that part.
You
It's
just
okay,
hate it
she's-
because Pip.
She's a small pony.
Correct.
Okay, next card.
Sure.
You can't do that, Bugle. We've already had that card.
CC. Plurite, bad impressions. Do we really have to go through the meme again? I would like to steal all the things and then retire all the things.
I think that is too broken.
And leads to NPs.
Did we ever link those?
I don't know.
No, you did not. They've been sitting pinned in that one channel for like the entire development of Fond Memories, and they've never been shared.
You should
Alright, well-
probably get a link to that. Anyway,
Here,
this
here
one
you
was
go.
not.
This
This
is-
one
this
was not
is-
turned into another Jar Judger. Diamond Song says Plurite sounds like something you'd get at the dentist. Okay, so Plurite steals one of your opponent's friends for 2 action tokens. That also happens when it enters play, which means you can make token copies of it, which sounds dumb.
Sounds fun.
Sounds great. And it's a changeling, which means you can make token copies of it or use Petiole to make a copy of it, which also sounds great. Or you can play Plurite and steal one of your opponent's friends and give them Plurite, and then play Journal of Friendship for the first time in any constructed deck ever, and steal back your own Plurite so that you can play Petiole. Yeah, there we go. The real tech. It's just really good value. Also, if you aren't looking at this card and bodyguards and already drowning in unicorn tokens and AT value, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It's just kind of gross. So, yeah. It's a gross pink white card. And therefore, I love it.
Gross, like all pink white cards.
I was about to say, I
Like-
think you're being redundant here.
I'm trying to think of one that wasn't. I'll let you know when I do.
Next card.
Oh yeah, that also is subject to the IDP and tender taps rules as well. Another pink-white card. Yes, next card.
On shuffle. We have vinyl at home. But yeah, so this card's fun for recursion. I've really missed whatever the name of that card was
Juggling
from
routine.
Yeah, juggling routine from CG. And this one only shuffles one of the decks. It costs one more, and is a body, but I also think mechanically this is not better, but more fair, in that it banishes itself. So it fulfills the role much better, which is like you have a deck that has a bunch of tools, but all those tools discard themselves, and you want multiple shots of those tools, rather than a deck that wants to play the same tools infinitely many times. So it's much more about restocking than it is about doing degenerate things. It's also occasionally useful against like Reanimator. Although, like I said, this during Slogfest, it's not actually terribly useful because Reanimator generally discards the same turn that it reanimates. But it can be effective, or against other like F-stop decks, anything that's doing recursion.
Okay, so hear me out. You Wrath of Gilda your opponent, but you don't want them to have access to their friends in their discard pile. So you shuffle all their friends you just dismissed back into their deck.
Now they have access to them in their deck.
Correct. But not in their discard pile, and not in play. Aha.
I have one. This is also counter hand whatever, deck out, whatever we call those.
Deck out's fine. Oh, still partying.
Well, like decks that are trying to make you lose by a lose condition that we don't have in this game.
Are you saying we need a lose condition in this game?
No.
Are you saying we need the opposite of still partying?
Yes. If your opponent draws a card, was the last, or after your opponent draws a card, if there's no more cards in your deck, then score 5 points. I like this.
What color is it in?
Gonna go ahead and veto that right now.
Orange.
Okay, so I'm going to run both of those in the same deck.
Just get rid of everybody's deck.
Yeah. It's actually also the counter. Oh, no, this is fine. We'll just make it cost 2. So it's the counter to still partying.
Instead of 3, it's 2, so it's cheaper and easier to get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now you need Unity 15 orange, so, you know.
No, there's no Unity requirement. It just always works.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Oh,
right.
yeah, totally. Definitely.
Much more fair.
But yeah, fun card.
Okay.
Sees a lot of play for sideboard slots, for sure.
Yeah.
Probably pushed that too early.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
This is you, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
So if your main is Confront to Flip, this card is your hero. Because you're just like, no. None of this troublemakers, none of this eccentric nonsense, just hello, yes, hi. I would like to flip my main over, please, thank you.
Okay,
Also,
thanks, bye.
I'd like to start screaming and filling in wood grain, because do you know how much wood grain is going on in the lower part of this card's art? There's a lot.
Oh, there is a lot.
There's a
What
lot
did
of
you
wood
do with
grain.
all of it?
I filled it all in by hand.
Why did you do this?
Oh, the extra boards?
Yes.
Oh.
Because it needed filled in by hand. Man, I still have the same question that Spike has, which is, how exactly does Starlight up in this tower use this telescope to go poking around in the dungeons? It's just like, there's a problem here.
I like Diamond Song's comment. Aura was bored. BOARD.
Ah!
Wow.
Alright, I deserve that one. Especially after the woodworking pun I put on that Apple Bloom card.
Focused attention is great because in conjunction with staff and with the 3-entry cycle, you can run lacking lesson plans and have 9 ways to flip in your deck on turn 2.
And also, this isn't a dead card later in the game either. If you end up with a troublemaker, well, you can just be like, nah.
2 AT score a point is not terrible. 2 AT also start a face-off is even better. And you can even confront behind your own epics. You can be Cozy Glow. Starlight is Cozy Glow. Or as Beagle says, if they Tempest your main back to start side. Correct. Seems good.
Yeah. Not too bad. Next card?
Yeah. So here we have Fit of Peak. There is a lot you can use this card for. Banish a card from a discard pile doesn't seem like much, but then you start realizing how much you would love your opponent to not be able to recur or reanimate.
Sounds terrible.
If you're
That
just like,
sounds amazing. You could also get rid of your, like, oh, I really wish this Grogar villain wasn't in my discard pile. I wish it was banished so I could bring it back. Let me go ahead and banish it. Or you're like, oh, my opponent has all these reanimator options. I'm going to go ahead and banish all 3 of them because you can just get this back.
Banishing your own Grogar to farm it forever in conjunction with Sirens and it's going to work is disgusting. And now I want to build a deck that scores all 15 points from beating up the same singleton copy of Grogar.
Remember when we were talking about Christmas and
That-
magic?
it doesn't seem to involve some rather magical happy Christmas time going there, yeah.
I just need my opponent to sit there and let me be a goldfish. Or let them be a goldfish.
So what you're saying is you want your opponent to be a bunch of puckmudgies
Yes.
in a trench coat.
Yes. Bugle says he also likes Utopia's use of banishing cards from his own discard pile to increase the Discord main's power. Yeah, if you ever actually end up flipping Grogar over into Discord and use Fit of Peak strategically on the card types you need, all of a sudden you have an even bigger main that has an ability. Shocking, right? And Godot says he kind of likes the immediate and he kind of likes it, though the immediate and self-recursion together kind of worries him. Hitting single cards is useful. Did you mention Parachute, by the way, Ivory?
I did not. I did not
Okay.
mention Parachute.
Okay, kick that out of here. All those decks that are trying to cheat and use Parachute, no, get out.
Yeah.
Diamond Song just likes Rarity's boopable nose. It is very boopable.
Boop.
Do not boop the snoot.
You're gonna boop the snoot.
All right, last 5?
Yes.
Sure.
Or last 4? I can count. Oh, no, it is 5.
Yeah.
It should be 4.
I don't know how you let me take this one, but I'm grateful that you did. Queen Chrysalis Love Vampire, I view... see, Diamond Song says, see, I wonder who picked this card. No, it's me. Dio. It's not Aura. I really like Love Vampire because I feel like it will, at the very least early on in the meta, have a similar effect to what the presence of Rainbow Dash Uneven Ground did in, like, old Harmony before Core was actually a format, where even though there weren't a lot of decks that were playing it, the fact that it existed and that your opponent could play it meant people had to play differently.
Yeah.
And especially in Adventure, but also somewhat in Core, and definitely with any Student 6 decks, that is exactly what Love Vampire does. If you have built your deck to use Rushed Makeover and Motivational Speech and cards in that vein to get the cheapest, most efficient entry that you possibly can, you're going to get punished.
Bugle says I specifically requested the opposite of this. So you want characters to lose and not be able to have their
Not
printed
colors?
colors? So you can only have colors that aren't printed?
I like this.
That's interesting.
The Student 6 would like to know your location. No, I didn't pick this one. Spoilers, I run mono decks for a reason.
You should run this card.
I don't like this card, it's too expensive.
Run more expensive mono decks.
And despite all else, there is a picture of the traitor to Hive on this card.
Getting love drained?
Yes, I don't like it. It's got a picture of Queen. That part I like. I don't like the right half of the card.
But he's suffering, probably.
I mean, that does warm my cold heart.
Fair enough. Yeah. Whether or not Love Vampire is actually going to be an impactful card in the meta, I don't know. But if all it does is shape deck building for a few months and encourage some additional friend-based entry, I'll call that a win.
You just gotta wait for everyone to forget it and then roll back into the meta with it 6 months later and surprise everyone.
Yeah, this was actually the long con. I've been strategically analyzing how long it will take the meta to adapt to this, then forget about it, and then how long there will be left before Continentals when we can just spring all the decks that'll have this and then also let people know a month in advance that we're playing them. So, big brain time.
That's some Lelouch from Code Geass tier long con.
The show was great. Anyway.
Next card.
Which card is this? Oh, yeah. So this is Spike Grabby Claws. This card is interesting. It kind of says you don't flip until Spike gets too big and then you need to portal him and so that he's small again. This is why you totally run this card with nap cakes. Because you get to use it once, and then it doesn't do anything anymore.
I think that's probably bad.
No. But no, against basically decks that flip high, this is pretty good. It's also good, so it's good both in control and in purple farm. Especially early, because it can help you win early, and then when it gets big, like you're okay with it being big.
Yeah, the fact that Spike's power grows alongside the same rate that your opponent's cards stop being banished keeps the impact of this card relatively consistent in terms of just sheer power swing.
Yes, Gado in the chat appreciating the
Milady.
Player hat here. Is a player in a management profession hat.
I'd link to the Seinfeld bit, but I don't have it handy.
Just pretend.
He's even got a feather in it. It's dumb.
It's great. And Prism Light says, and then he grabs Grogar. Your opponent flips a Grogar, you banish Grogar, and all of a sudden, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's like, oh, thank you.
The Spike Dimmadome. I like it. Yeah, it unfortunately doesn't work. Shame.
I mean, just stretch the hat a little bit.
Alright, so what I'm hearing is you want some promo art. Alright, I gotcha.
I like this. Need to commission totally custom art.
Make sure it's a really, really long card.
You can't change the card size.
Godot
No, it's-
says, does he banish before the face-off ends? He banishes the instant the card is flipped.
Yeah.
It's like a chaos.
I mean, it is a trigger. So it's not like a replacement, but yes, it is immediately after it's flipped. The next priority, priority window.
Now, unfortunately, there's too much text in the text box here, or else I'd turn this and use the ultra rare template, and then actually give him the Dimmadome treatment.
It'd be pretty good.
Next card.
It's all you.
All right. I think Bugle's going to be with me on this one. Where has this card been? And why is this such good art?
This looks a little bit like Robbie Rotten.
Kinda?
Yeah, a little bit.
Diamond Song says, oh no, her flavor got cut off. No, it didn't.
Now you clearly haven't watched enough like comic book stuff. You know, she's just sitting there going on and monologuing.
Prism Light asks, do you run this in Griffins? Certainly not aggro, and probably not control. Although I understand why you're thinking that.
Because Scurry?
Because Scurry.
This is a relatively interesting card from a mechanical perspective, simply because of it's the only villain that isn't also epic. So yes, you can like clear away annoying friends and then confront behind it with your main or whatever. I don't know. I like the art on this though. She just like
I was never a fan of Maniac.
This is the closest we have to a blank troublemaker.
Yeah.
And it's still a good stat line. Like 5 power, 1 point seems to be a decent enough stat line for troublemakers.
I mean, with villain.
which isn't bad. Like,
Or
especially
with Sirens.
Yeah, especially with some of the other stuff in this set that can really take advantage of villain. It's great.
You want to get your bonus one in now, or are you going to wait?
No, Ivory. What do you want about?
I didn't know how you were going to do it. You're the one breaking the system rules.
It's fine. This one won't take long. Rarity disturbing the peace. I do not care about anything on this card except for the artwork. This artwork is perfect. And this needed to be on a card the day after the episode aired.
Forever ago.
Because this is one of, if not the best rarity moment in the entire show.
Oh, that's right. You're one of those people with Rarity as their waifu, aren't you?
Don't know if I say waifu, but I definitely think she's the best of the main 6.
Wow, I didn't know people could be that wrong.
That's what I'm feeling right now. Anyway.
That's fair.
It's very good art.
We need to go have Hifrock rig up tabletop sims so that when this card hits the field, face up, it starts playing the music.
Pretty good. Just as the guitar riff.
Yeah.
The card is actually playable too in Chrissy. Like Chrissy does not mind a showy one prepared 3-power body.
For 3 cost?
It's okay.
And if anyone asks about the last 3 characters of the flavor text, I don't know.
Oh boy, that's complicated.
Okay. Last card, I promise. I love all cards because all cards are equal. Okay, there, I did my stupid meme thing.
This was your big buildup. This was
Yes.
your big moment.
You were supposed to do something like, oh, let's just play the Soviet national anthem while we're here.
Well, see, if you would have told me about that, I would have rigged that up, but no.
What? Why would I need to tell you that? You're the one brandishing we're all equal here.
He wouldn't have played the Soviet national anthem. He would have
Right.
blasted Hard Bus.
True. Or started making comments about Bing bong!
Bing pong. So is Starlight the new main for Nice Calm Ordinary Day?
No?
Yes.
Starlight's the closest you're going to be able to... Like, if you're going to build a Nice Calm Ordinary Day and build the legal version of it, yes, I think you're required to run Starlight.
It's just all colorless change. Well, closest to changelings you can do.
No. It's just functionally equivalent. Except it's actually, Chrissy.
Right.
Although I guess that you actually do have a Cadence main now. So, sure. We can run that instead. Whatever.
But we don't have Penny Lane.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, that is the 21 cards that we were most able to settle on, which is a shame because there's like 10 more I want to talk about, but we already talked about them 2 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, as you do. Let's see. Oh, we have some things to plug. So let's get on with the plug.
Okay, shameless plugging.
Yes, shameless plugs. 3 of them at least. All right. So first up, there's a Coco. You'll see how many people are signed up for this.
I'm gonna
I
play in
think
it.
7?
Oh wow. I'm actually going to have to look at this because there's someone has duplicated an email address. Yeah, 7, I think.
But there's still time.
Yes, there is still a little bit of time. So if you're interested in hopping in that, there's the link. Go fill up the form, push the button, and we'll try to get that underway. Like, possibly even tonight if enough people sign up.
Ooh.
One hint. And on account of we're going into the holidays, I expect the first round of this is probably going to run a little bit long, because you got the whole housewarming thing and either attending family functions or dodging family functions. Either way, we know
As
it's
you do.
complicated. We don't judge.
It Hismus.
No, not yet.
Is it not Hismus yet?
Well, I guess it can't be Hismus yet. That's one of the next things here. Hismus, Merhismus. Keep an eye on the channel. Probably this time next week, maybe Saturday, because it's Yule log time. Yule-ish log. It might actually be a Yule log. That's the weird part.
Did Cadence help Chrissy inspect the Yule logs this year?
No.
What about Autumn Place?
No.
Okay. I always like the Yule log stream. How many new plushies do you have to show off this year?
Just one.
How many plushies will be there next year?
Depends on customs.
I played the 5th.
Okay. It's been a heavy ordering year for plushies, has it?
I'm going to remain pleading the 5th. Maybe.
I would like my plush to arrive, please. I would like people to accept my commissions.
Turns out it's actually kind of hard to get plush commissions. Anyway.
It really is.
And one last order of business here. There's a con. What is this? The 4th one since the before times?
It's close to that, right?
Yeah, it's about the fourth one. I might be missing one in there somewhere, but yeah, it's about the fourth one since the before times. Vancouver Pony Expo coming up in the first weekend of January, the 6th, I believe, through the 9th?
7th through the 9th.
7th through the 9th, right. In nice little town. TrotCon was in there somewhere.
And British Isles.
Oh, okay, fair, 5th. So I think the current idea is that we're going to try to make it up there, subject to, international quarantine regulations, the whole normal disclaimer about this. No promises, because, things can change. But we'll see.
Yes, anyway, come to Vancouver. It will be fun. There will be pony carts. In the greatest format of all time.
Cube draft?
Yes. With a newly updated cube from Pages himself.
I think we've been going to the point of having printed fond memory cards ready for it.
It'll be fun. We'll also play Adventure. We'll also eat poutine.
Boo. Yay. In that order.
Anyway, I think that will about wrap things up on our discussion for this topic for today. We would like to give a big shout out to all our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your regular support. If you aren't currently a patron and you enjoy what we do, please consider donating. Doing so does enable us to continue making content like this and lets you earn some great perks as a bonus. If you have comments or questions you'd like to send our way, feel free to reach out to us through Facebook, Twitter, or email. If you're a patron, you can also chat live with us on Slack any day, anytime. Because for the last 2 weeks, I have destroyed my sleep schedule, and for the last 10 years, RNGs have destroyed theirs.
I would like to read you the label off of one of my alarms.
Go ahead.
If you'll give me a moment to get the voice ready.
What's your schedule, precious?
Finally, if you're looking to watch any of our previous videos, including tournament recordings or Slogsfests, you can find them on our YouTube channel, linked just below the stream. With all that said, thank you to each and every one of our viewers, both here now and watching this recording later. We are, as always, Commentary is Magic. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big cheese.
Hismus.
Still cold Ivory Starlight.
And we will see you all next year.
Yep.
Yep.
Go to Vancouver.
Go to Vancouver.
Bugle asks any core not currently on the schedule.
Not scheduled, anyway. We'll probably still play core. Not in tournament.